Hi everyone, and welcome back to Bryan's Business World. Today we'll be talking about the second item that is in your toolkit to evaluate the purchase of a business, and that is the legal aspect of purchasing a business. So what is the approach you should use, or rather how can you build your legal skill set or your sort of legal mind in approaching a sale of a business? Two key questions. First, you want to look at what could go wrong with the business. First question, what could go wrong? Now, a lot of people accuse lawyers of being kind of, Debbie Downers and very negative, and maybe there's some truth to that. But when you approach things from a legal way, you want to ask what could go wrong with the business, number one. Okay. Number two, you want to ask, is there a legal document that could prevent that or perhaps make that better? So those are the two critical questions that you want to keep in mind to develop your sort of legal analysis, your legal mind when you're looking at purchasing a business or not purchasing the business. So let me make that a little bit more concrete in terms of what could go wrong. And again, this isn't to terrify someone or dissuade someone from purchasing a business, but it is an extremely useful and effective thought exercise to go through these things. Again, problems can be managed, risk can be managed. It's no reason not to do it, but it is good to ask these kind of questions. So, first area where things could go wrong. The founders or owner of the business do not agree. And we're not talking about some simple daily dispute over what kind of coffee to have in the morning or where to go to breakfast. I'm talking about a major and fundamental dispute between the owners or founders of a business to where it's very hard for the business to carry on. So that's one type of thing that could go wrong. The founders have a serious disagreement or serious discord to where it threatens the existence of the business, quite honestly. Number two, the tax payments have not been made. And again, many different tax payments could have not been made here. Sales tax, payroll taxes, municipal tax, federal taxes, state taxes, okay? So tax payments haven't been made or weren't made, and that's a big problem in the business. Third sort of type of problem that could come up, landlord problems, or if you are in the landlord position as part of your business, tenant problems. So landlord-tenant problems, again, can be major problems in a business. Fourth type of problem or thing that could go wrong, employee discrimination. So employment discrimination, employment problems, and again, this could go all different ways. It could be from the employer side, the employee, or the employer side. So again, employment problems, employment discrimination. Fifth potential problem, problems with your vendors or contractors. So is there some sort of dispute or problem coming up with a critical vendor that you have for your business, and you can't really do something without them? So something going wrong there. And sixth, but certainly not last or least, is customer problems. Something has gone wrong in a serious way with your customers, to where perhaps a breach of contract, lawsuit, or lawyers may get involved. So I'm not talking about merely a dissatisfied customer. I'm talking about a customer potentially threatening legal action. So are those all the types of things that could go wrong or legal problems that could occur in a business? Absolutely not. But they are some of the more common ones and something to think about using your legal toolkit when you are evaluating the purchase of a business. Okay? Now, once you've identified the problems, then you have to ask yourself, is there a legal document or documents that could make these problems either go away entirely or prevent them or greatly mitigate the risks? And the good news is the answer to all of those questions is yes. So let's look at some of the documents or records that may solve or prevent or manage many of these problems. So first of all, partnership disputes, disputes between partners in the business, disputes between founders. very easy to greatly eliminate or greatly limit that kind of risk. So you want to have a formal partnership agreement drawn up. This document goes by many different names. You may hear of it referred to as an operating agreement or a shareholder agreement or sometimes a buy-sell agreement, but really they all do the same thing. I think the most accessible name is a partnership agreement. You have a legal document that's fairly detailed between the partners or founders of a business, and that can go a very long way to eliminating any problems of serious disagreement between the partners. Okay. 2, in terms of tax payments, well, these may not necessarily be legal documents, but they are records that you could get a hold of that would indicate that the tax payments have been made. So contacting the county and getting something in writing that property tax payments have been made, contacting various agencies to make sure that the payroll tax payments have been made, contacting the state revenue departments or the IRS, and again, getting verification that the tax payments have been made. Also, seeing the actual returns or documentation submitted by the business to these agencies can be an excellent way to eliminate or prevent that type of risk. So those might not be, quote, the traditional legal documents that a lawyer would prepare, but they are documents that can help inform you and, again, mitigate or avoid the problem of non-payment of taxes. Okay? Landlord problems and tenant problems. Very easy solution here. A good commercial lease or a residential lease, whatever the circumstances may be. So if there are serious problems there or potentially serious problems, the solution is very clear-cut. Please hire an attorney and prepare a good quality commercial lease, a good quality residential lease, and you can avoid many problems on the landlord side or the tenant side of things. Very clear-cut solution there. 4, employment discrimination. This is a very hot button issue in today's society. The Me Too movement, lots of different activity with that, and it's a very serious and relevant issue. So what can you do from a documentation or legal standpoint to help yourselves here? 1, you would want to have good employee manuals. 2, some very good training that's done. It could be done by attorneys or it could be done by other individuals, HR professionals. 3, the use of good employment contracts. 4, making sure you have good reporting practices and identification systems, like perhaps an ethics hotline or that type of thing. Well, you don't have to have that solely to make sure that these kind of problems can be reported and investigated in a timely way. And again, use of an attorney there or other serious HR professionals could be very good. So on employment discrimination, it's again a combination of documents and practices and training. Disputes with contractors and vendors. Again, a good contract in such situations can be invaluable to preventing problems. So take a look at what your current contracts look like, if you have any, and then you can look at improving it from there. Finally, disputes with customers. And again, we're not talking about a disgruntled customer, someone who's unhappy. We're talking about a serious problem where the customer may be threatening legal action. Again, very easy to prevent with a high-quality contract, and that should be in place. Now, let's kind of bring this all back to the big picture here. You're looking to buy a business. So we've identified the potential problems. We've identified what legal documents should be in place to solve those problems. So how does that match up? Does the business you're buying actually have these type of documents in place at all? And are they any good? Now, on the second part of that is where it is appropriate to review them with a licensed attorney. But I think for you, in terms of building your skill set on the legal side and building your understanding, again, you've identified all these problems, all the documents that can remedy these problems or prevent them, and are they there? And if, what the business you're buying is completely missing most or all of these kind of documents, then maybe it's not such a great business to buy after all. I hope you've enjoyed our segment today, and please leave some feedback down below, and send us an email. Follow us. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you.